So hi, I'm your host today, Breeze. No, I'm just playing. See, but welcome to the Mastering Google for Your Business presentation. I'm just going to go through some of the things that I really like about Google that are really strong for your business. And if you don't already have it set up, definitely go in and try to put your hand in the pot. If not, you can go to places like Fiverr and Upwork and typically have people set these things up for you, $50 to $100, and it gives you so much more value to your business, and it gives you a lot more insight into your business. So some of the things that we're going through are Google Business Profile. Used to be called the Google My Business. Now it's the Google Business Profile. So how you appear on Google, especially if you have a brick and mortar. Google Ads, right? So the advertising structure on Google, Analytics, the Merchant Center, and Gemini, which is, ChatGPT's competitor, and the different things that you can use with Gemini that make it kind of more beneficial to use than ChatGPT in some instances, and to see if those make sense for you as well. So the importance of Google is that it owns about 90% of the search engine area, right? So everybody uses Google in some capacity, whether we're using Google Maps to take us somewhere on the road, so they have advanced data on like traffic analytics, or we're just utilizing it in a search capacity, which is how we find out all information now, right? We don't really use the encyclopedias and things like that anymore. So it's also essential for your business in the realm of visibility and traffic. It integrates with various tools and comprehensive marketing strategies with Google. It's very important with your SEO. That's pretty much what SEO is based around, is optimizing for Google, right? There's other search engines, but really we're trying to optimize for Google. And then targeting through Google, and in-depth website analytics for Google. So just everything that you don't know about your business, taking the guessing away, that's kind of where everything is at for me. Once I started mastering these things, I felt like it was a lot more clarity. I wasn't just shooting in the dark and trying to figure out, dang, I had 100 people to the website. Okay, cool. Nobody's buying anything, right? Now I can look at the behaviors. I can look and see, through heat maps and things like that, how far down somebody went on my website and why they maybe stopped on the website, right? So, and have all of that information just documented on things like Google Analytics. So this is kind of higher level. I'm trying to bring it in and make it as condensed as possible and as simple as possible. So the Google Business Profile, this is the, your social media profile as far as Google's concerned, right? So when you search up your business, you're going to have it pop up on the right-hand side. It has your address. It has a few different call to actions on there. Whenever you look up any business, it usually says, do you want to drive there? Do you want to call this business? Do you want to, right, take the destination route, whatever. So that's what we're doing here. We're creating that profile. Why it's important is just going to give you your search visibility. This is how people are going to find you. It helps the customers to engage with you pretty quickly. So whatever they were thinking of doing, they can usually do a one-click touch and go straight to it. And if you have it set up correctly, like the chats and all the different features, then it makes it really, really accessible. I've had, plenty of conversations start off of things that I never really thought were going to take place. Like the Google Business Profile, they have things like chats, and nobody's thinking you're going to chat with somebody on their Google profile, but lo and behold, they do. And lo and behold, pretty big companies utilize that feature as well. And I don't even know how they figured it out before I did, right? So things that are on there: name, address, phone number, photos, videos you can upload to there, your customer reviews and your rankings, right? When you do a Google review, this is where they're now going to be documented for your business. You can make posts on there similar to how you do on social media, messaging aspects, and then bookings. So if you have like a booking calendar, one click directly to the booking calendar, which is beautiful. So this is kind of mine. I don't know how big or how small that looks to you guys, but Raw Marketing Group, right? If you look us up here, you'll be able to see our Google reviews. You'll be able to see most of the information about us and some pictures. Step-by-step guides of how to go through it is creating the profile. You're entering your website address. You're entering the name of the business, and you're selecting a category. So you want to be as closely aligned to the category as your business is, right? So there's a lot of people who do like specific types of businesses, super niche down, and for some reason they feel like they want to use the broadest term there. Don't do that. Just if you're gonna be like as niche down as possible, just be as niche down as possible, right? Say you're a barbecue restaurant. If you're a barbecue restaurant, not just a restaurant or American restaurant category, get as close to your category as possible so Google can route the right people to you every time, right? Especially if you don't have as much competition in that industry. So that's the importance of that. Adding your location, right? When you put your address, now you have about a 2 to 3 mile radius around you that Google is saying is like your local search area. And then you're also having other service areas that you can put on this profile for Vegas specifically. And you guys are going to be able to watch this back on Promise Startups. But we have North Las Vegas, Summerlin South, Summerlin West, I believe, something like this, Paradise, Enterprise, right? So all of these little subsectors, you want to get as many of them as possible. I would say as high as 15 different service areas. Exactly. And so a lot of times, people just want to rank Nevada, but a lot of us don't do business in Mesquite. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of us don't do business, So just keep it as close to here as you can. And since you have as many different options as possible to put different locations, let's do all the different subsections so that way we can really define that audience as clear as possible. So I have like a little small list that I use when I'm setting these up of all the different, subdivisions, neighborhoods, if you will, in Vegas, smaller cities, things like that. Then you're also verifying the business. So the verification process sometimes is pretty difficult. They have to send you a physical card most often, right? Like a postcard. So they're gonna mail that to you, and then you have to take the code off of there and then put it into your business profile in order to verify it. Sometimes they like want more verification, so they're like, all right, let's record the building and let me see the building with your sign on the door, and let me see the inside of the building, and you record this video directly into Google. That was like my most difficult verification. Even with that one, I kind of finessed it and got a little picture of my logo on top of it and blurred my logo a little bit to make it look like a real picture, put it on the door, got it to work. And then I got a video of the inside just showing your equipment and things like that. Because basically these are for brick and mortars, right? They want to have you on a map. You can utilize different things like iPostal1 and virtual addresses, but sometimes they will call for bigger verifications. Yes.
Yeah, that was actually my question. It was to know that part if you have it virtual address or if you have a share office. Like that you utilize an office, but it has the name of another company, but you're inside there sharing the space that allow you. How do you do that?
Sometimes you can just verify over top of it. It's like one building, but there's multiple buildings or multiple businesses that can be inside there, right? Same thing as like having a plaza. Sometimes it's just like unit A, B, C, unit 103, 104, something like that. If you don't have a unit number, just try to put your business in there. It's just at the end of the day going to ask for a verification. And if it's not the postcard directly, like getting the mail in, then it's going to be something else like a phone call, an email, or some of the harder stuff where it's like trying to ping your phone to make sure you're at the location and recording the video and stuff like that. So that's where it gets kind of hard. I always find a way to do it. I'm just persistent like that, and I have to be for the people that I work with. So I'm gonna try everything, and we're gonna make this work no matter what. But I love it when it's easy. I love when they say, "Oh, you could just verify it with a phone call." Oh, that's great. Call me right now. I would love to verify it or email it. Right. So.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm trying to look like how would I apply that to my business, like my online. So I have online products, but I use my virtual address as that my distribution. I'm shipping it from there, and if the client needs to return it, it will go to that address.
Can I throw in one more question that came online that goes with your question, Darche? Mm-hmm. Sammy asks, what's this all about? So maybe you can.
Yeah. So this is the Google business profile that we're talking about now. This is typically for brick and mortars. but that just means that you have to have an address. So even if you're an online business or you're selling e-commerce, I would suggest having a Google business profile. That way you can collect Google reviews, because Google reviews are some of the most trusted reviews, right? Up there with Amazon reviews, right? So if you can put your virtual address, see if they'll take it. Even if they're sending the mail there, usually you can receive mail there and just get the postcard and line it up for yourself, because they have buttons on the profile, like the website button, that you're just taking them to the website anyway, right? So you control all the different things that you have up top. You can even put that you mainly service people online, but this is your address. So it's telling people, like, don't just drive here. You know what I mean? I'm an online service-based business. Maybe we do deliveries and we don't take anything here. There are businesses like that. So they're telling you that this is just their location. This is their address. You can still review them, but they do business off property or off site. So that's how you would utilize it there. And hopefully, online, that did give you a little bit of insight on some of this. And we're going into more Google things as well. All right. No problem. Next is just optimizing it. Rule of thumb is go through everything that you can go through and make sure that something is on it, right? So if you go through every single setting that you can, put every single feature that you can, and identify yourself in as many ways as possible, it's just getting Google closer and closer to understanding you, so then it can find the audience that you need to bring to you and just route them to you. That's it. Right. So there are different attributes that you can put on it, right? Women led, you have free Wi-Fi here or something like that if you have the brick and mortar actually there. But there are a ton of other attributes, right? We have Black-owned businesses, right? We have veteran-owned businesses. These are like just different attributes that you can activate. You can start to get your products in there, services in there as well, so people can start to see all of that stuff underneath the profile directly. And using Merchant Center, there's some things that you can do with that as well. And I'll go a little into that. And then, just responding to inquiries directly on the profile. So that's beautiful. And I would just take a picture of this. I don't want to run directly down these things. So if you have any questions on this, these are just some of the best practices, right? Manage, respond, some of the stuff, utilize your posting, keep your stuff updated. That's normal things, but they are constant reminders, right? Keep these things updated as much as possible. Add new photos, post different things on it, right? The more that you post, the more Google's going to like that, and also give you just more traffic just for posting, similar as Instagram, Facebook, or anything else, right? So create those posts. You can utilize the app, the same app that we be talking about all the time. You can take posts and you can just schedule them out directly on your Google business profile the same way. So any post that you're putting on Facebook or Instagram or something that's an image, and you just want some text under it, you're like doing a mini blog, right? Utilizing it as a mini blog, if you will. All right. So next, I'm jumping into Google Ads. The Google Ads, right? Obviously, this isn't like a free one. I know that I was usually keeping these around free options for lead generation, but I think that this is a pretty good option, considering that they give you $500 in free ad credit when you spend $500. So you have 60 days to spend $500, and they'll give you $500 for free. They've now scaled it up to where they'll even give you 1,000 for 1,000 and 1,500 to 1,500 right now. I don't know how long that's running, but they're doing that right now. Right. So 60 days, you do 250. If you can do that, then you will overall have $1,000 in budget that you're just putting directly to your business. So the beauty of Google Ads is it's targeted reach. You're going specifically for what people are looking for, right? Which is high intent. If I'm searching for something, obviously I want to find it. So if you're at the top of that search result, then you're getting the most high intent, right? Versus Facebook, sometimes we have to create that intent. We have to create that brand awareness. We're getting the ad in front of somebody for the first time and trying to get them excited when they weren't thinking about that before, right? That's a little bit harder than somebody who's just searching directly for it already. So you can get your keywords in there, locations, demographic, measurable results. Eventually, your cost per click is going to go down lower and lower. You can look up different keywords and predict kind of what that cost per click will probably be, so that it's predictable in the cost, which I love. and then you get fast results, right? As soon as somebody's searching for it, they want the results as fast as possible. So they're going to call you right away, or they're going to go to your website right away. Now, let me lay the foundation of this. Get your website clean and good at converting, and get your SEO clean and good at routing the traffic. For SEO, definitely hire somebody that's very difficult, skilled to do for your business, and it's going to take you very much out of your realm of expertise if you try to do it. So SEO, I would hire somebody to do that for you. But your website, hire somebody, or just make sure that you have something that somebody can interact with at the top of the website in the first click, and then run ads to it, right? So that's it. But this is just the online advertising platform. They have search ads, which is the search one, the most normal and most common ad. Display ads, which you can put your images out there and it'll put it on various websites that Google has access to. Some video ads, you can put those videos on top of YouTube videos. Shopping ads, you can take your products and put them at the top of the search results, but your actual picture, right? So sometimes if you look up products, you'll see like a bunch of them in different companies, and you can kind of scroll through. In the shopping ad, it'll put your product first in that long line of vetted products by Google. And then app ads, those are kind of more nuanced. Don't want to go too far down that route there. But setting it up, create your Google account, make sure your business set up, your Google business profile. We have that all set up. When you first log into Google Ads, it's going to make you create an ad. So I know that's like weird, and that's usually what turns people away from it. It's like, why is it forcing me to make an ad? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Why am I clicking through all this stuff? But just click through it, finish it as much as possible. Yeah, once you get done with it and you launch the ad, just go back to it and then pause it, right? You'll see a little green bubble. Click that green bubble and pause it, and then just make a whole new campaign. So that way you can have time to dial it in and look at each of the features. I'm just trying to fill out as many of the things as you can. Utilize Google Gemini, which I'll go over in a second here, but that's Google's AI, in order to fill out these different sections of a Google ad. And you're not going to be far off. Google Ads, you can hire somebody, they'll do better, but you're not going to be far off if you just use Google Gemini and have it fill out the slots, and you fill out as many different slots as possible. When it tells you you can have 15 headlines, fill out all the headlines, and it's going to rotate all of them and see which ones interact with the audience the best. And so Google's the one that's going to, take control of that and see what the best thing is to show, but just give it as many options to choose from as possible. All right. Yes.
Ain't no such thing as no question. What is Google? What you just say? Ads?
Yeah, the Google Ads.
Yeah, ads. I'm not familiar with none of it. So.
Yeah. So the Google Ads is for the business. So when you just go to Google and you're searching for anything,
okay.
Right? So
Ads.
the first thing that's at the top usually are the ads, and you'll see it. It looks like a normal search, but it says in the very, very corner, sponsored. That just means somebody paid to be the first thing that you saw in the search. So you can do the same thing for your business, right? Which is crazy. You can put yourself right up top. So if I'm searching for, let's say I'm a barber and I'm searching for a barber, right, on Google, and I see a barber and it's a perfectly placed ad, I click on it, I go to their booking page, see their quality of work, and then I book them. That's it, right? So that's why I say when they click, you got to make sure the website behind that is like perfect, clean, easy to understand, easy to book, or easy to buy the product. But that's the power of Google Ads. And then Google, they'll give you $500 extra when you spend $500. So, it's pretty easy to start making money. And at the end of the day, you want it to just be a predictable sales system. If I can spend $500 and get $1,000 worth of budget, I should be able to see if I make more than 1,000. If I don't, maybe I'll pause it and, maybe rethink it. But if I'm just testing it and I'm getting Google to also use its Gemini, which is the same thing as ChatGPT, to write all of this stuff, then I should be able to see if I can pocket more than 1,000. And if I can, then I'll just keep doing that. And now you have one predictable sales funnel for your business, right? So this is all a part of like my concept of creating funnels for businesses. when they talk about like financial freedom and they say you want to have maybe 7 different incomes for financial freedom or whatever that metric is that people have said in the past, I say for businesses to unlock the marketing of your business, you need like 6 to 7 different funnels into the business, which is things that you can control that bring business, eyeballs, you know what I mean, consideration, and ultimately sales to your business, right? So these are things like ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, right? These are things like social media. These are things like SEO. These are things like networking, right? Just going out and meeting people. These are things like PR, right? If you have 6 to 7 of those different channels mastered into your business, then essentially you don't have to be married to one thing. You'll always feel like you're in control, and you have crazy, crazy amounts of data to prove that you're moving in the right direction as soon as you try to introduce something. Yeah.
What's SEO?
Search engine optimization. So that is optimizing your business so that Google can know what you do and send people to you for free. So the more that you have that mastered, the more free traffic that you just get from people organically without having to pay for the ads. Yes?
Sorry, I should have asked this question from the beginning, but do you recommend us to start our business with the Google Gmail for now?
Yeah, I would. Whatever your Gmail is, just use that and then utilize it for the business profile. And then eventually you're going to want to get a Google Workspace anyway and get that handle, which is like at yourbusiness.com for the emails. And then you can link it to that profile and have access both ways.
Yeah, how would I link my domain and my Gmail? Am I able to do that?
As far, what do you mean?
Sorry, I got just confused. So just the Gmail can be like a similar name as my domain?
Yeah.
Is that similar?
Yeah. So you're using just your normal, Gmail account, like whatever at gmail.com. You can use that for anything. You can use that to set up the business accounts on Google and all that, right? But eventually you'll want to set up what's called a Google Workspace, and that costs like monthly, but it allows you to connect your domain to Google Workspace in order to have whatever at yourbusiness.com, if that makes sense. So that's like that official business email kind of setup right there.
How would I get it? Through the workspace you're saying?
Yeah, through the Workspace.
Can you name some of the ones you just named as far as the search engines?
Oh, the search engine, just so you want to use Google like all the time, and then you're gonna want to work on what we were talking about was the SEO. So search engine optimization, and you can, again, that's something that you would want to hire an expert for, or at the very least find like a freelancer that can just do that for your business. And it does take time. It usually takes about 3 to 6 months to really start to see the juice and the results of that. But then all of a sudden you'll start seeing more people just finding your business out of nowhere without you having to do anything. The rest of this setup is just choosing the campaign that you want. Typically, we're going to just be doing a sales campaign or a leads campaign, right? And then we're going to be doing a search campaign, typically. The other one that I would do if I'm not doing a search campaign and I'm a new person is called a performance max campaign, which will allow you to just take all the information of your business, plug it in, and Google will try to place it all over the internet in as many different places as it can. Then you're going to want to target. You're going to want to set your budget. It's like a daily budget. The minimum is $2 a day. But if we're looking to do the 500, ad credit, then we just are taking 250 divided by 30 days, and that's going to be our budget. So that way we can go ahead and get that ad credit, right? The keywords, you can use Google Keyword Planner, another tool from Google, or you can use Gemini again, or ChatGPT, or anything to find some root keywords for you. And you can allow Google to do what's called broad matching, right? So that is Google just exploring a little further out than what you already set as your keywords in order to maybe find some people that didn't directly search for what you have, but will probably benefit from what you have. It's okay. Oh yeah, I had it right there, broad matching. See, I'm searching for the word right there. And then negative keywords are things that people would probably search for about your business that you don't want to be found for in your business, if that makes sense, right? So let's say that you are a loan person, and then somebody is like, loan for low credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put that in a negative keyword, because I don't want people to have low credit specifically for my loan product. Maybe it doesn't work for people with low credit, right? And if I know that, I don't want to waste dollars on people who aren't going to be the qualified customer. So that one requires a little more thinking outside of the box, right? To think of negative keywords, things that you don't want people to find you for, that's still adjacent to your industry. But again, Gemini, just ask Gemini, what are some possible negative keywords? And any of those that ring true to you, I don't want people that have any of these or searching any of these, then just add them in. Compelling copy, Gemini, and then you're just launching and reviewing it. And that's it. And you just watch. Every day is going to show you how many leads come in. They're either going to the website, they're giving you a phone call, they're booking with you. It's trying to convert them multiple different ways, right? So you can set all of those different ways. If you have a brick and mortar and it's okay for them to drive to you, that works like that as well, right? So a lot of stores, that's what they mainly need is foot traffic. So then you can just set just that one thing. We want ads for people who are taking directions to us. And it'll show you at the end of the month, okay, 40 people took a direction request for you to go to your business. So if you had like 100 people that came to your business, 40 of them came directly from the ad, which is clutch. Like, it's really easy to set up, and it's really easy to check and double check the progress of, and just check that actually happened. And most of those people, you can ask them, right? I always ask people where they came from, because I don't know. I got too many things spinning. Yeah. Mhm.
Gemini.
Yeah, Google Gemini. So just Google Gemini, and then it'll pull up.
He has his laptop on the bottom corner right hand side. You should find it on your laptop when you're on the internet. On the bottom right side, it should pop up.
Is it? I don't know. Maybe put
It's
more
like a little like green, and it's kind of like flashing on
is
your
it
screen.
this at the top? It do it like it's a circle. And
Yeah, it kind of doing like that.
Are these the laptops from here? Oh yeah, those ones are like Google Chrome books, right? So, oh man, that's clutch. I gotta give me my little Chromebook back up, because I like that. To have a Gemini directly in it is clutch.
Is it the Chrome one or no? No, this is so then you're gonna have to Google search.
Yeah.
If you have the Chrome, it's there. You find it? Okay, good.
So the beautiful thing about Gemini, which I'll go over here in a second too, is they have the advanced version, which is like the 4.0 or whatever of ChatGPT, and you can get it for 2 months free typically. So they have a trial usually. So it might not be there right now, but kind of look forward to try to find it. But usually they do 2 months free on there instead of the $20 dollars per month that it usually is, or that ChatGPT 4.0 is, or whatever. All right. So small tips, things to remember on the Google ads. Monitor the performance. Go back and check the ads like every other day, every 3 days, at least once a week, because Google will give you recommendations, and it'll have a whole bunch of notifications of things that you can do to make it better. It's like, hey, we think that you should add these keywords, and it'll recommend you 100 keywords, and you can add them, or you can edit it. Like, no, I don't want this. I want these ones though. These are good ideas. Add them into the mix. Or, we want to expand the targeting, or, statistically, with how many searches that we have seen over the last 15 years, and for the date that it is now, and what we see in the search results right now, we think that if you just increased your budget, maybe $5 a day or $2 a day or something like that, then you'll actually get 3 times the results, because this is also you bidding versus somebody else, right? So the idea is, if you have 1,000 people that search for, your specific hair products or the type of hair products that you have, if there was 1,000 people that were going to search for it, and there was like 20 of us running ads in this area or in Las Vegas for it, you know, is going to split those up some type of way, and it's going to put these people at the top. Now, if I'm paying more than everybody else, then it has to give me more of those searches. But the amount of people that search didn't change. How many of them go to me because of how much I paid changes? And that's how these things like cost per click go up and down and things like that. So again, going back to the recommendations, if it's recommending you to maybe up the budget $3 a day, if you can't afford to do that, and it gives you a projection of how much more business you'll get, then yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. If I was doing $10 and for $13 more a day, I would get 2.3 times more results
You need for $3 more.
for $3 more per day. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. So yeah, so that's how I think about it. Adding extensions, call outs, those are different things in the system. And then leveraging the quality score, which is what I was talking about. It'll give you a score and just go through the recommendations, knock them all out. You don't have to take everything that it's suggesting, and sometimes don't take what it's suggesting. You can look at it and tell, I don't know. So you can just dismiss it and try to always have that optimization score, or the quality score, up to 100, or at least at 90%, 80%.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So say we do the Google ads here. Do you highly recommend, like with your other platforms, to do ads all together as well? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
That's like just a part of our omni-channel marketing thing. But essentially, if somebody goes to your website from a Google ad and you were running retargeting ads to people who visited your website through Facebook, then now they can see your face or your picture or whatever you were putting on your Facebook or Instagram ad on those platforms, reminding them of what they just searched of. So it's all about getting into somebody's brain as many times as possible. Most people don't start to notice things until they saw it 7 times. Then they're like, man, this looks familiar. Yeah, it's been in front of your face so many times and you're just now realizing it, and you're creating that for your business. So yes, it would make sense to do those together.
Because I'm setting up my, account right now. How would I get the virtual address?
Here and get a virtual address from Elias.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my answer. Yeah, that's the best answer. I was gonna give you 2 different options, but nah, you get the one here. So, and then but yeah, you can literally put 690 Westlake Mead Boulevard, and then he'll get your box number, and then set all that up.
Yeah, I think you've already signed your Igniter agreement, so that's what that gives you access to.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So this is the power of Google Analytics. So Google Analytics and the tag, which is super high level, definitely hire somebody for this one, or get a freelancer, Upwork or Fiverr, somebody to set up your Google Analytics and your Google Tag Manager, right? So this is how you're able to track behavior, measurements, improve your experience overall, like on your websites and all your other platforms, and then set and track your goals. It's all about data, raw data, collecting the actual data and being able to look at it on paper, right? You can see the graphs, you can see what's happening, right? If you went to an event and you did a speaking event or something like that, and you spoke to 100 people and you told everybody to go to your website, you should be able to see how many of them went on your website that day directly just from your Google Analytics and using your Google Tag Manager. So it just shows you if what you're doing is working, right? We don't want to be doing too many things that aren't working too long, right? We want those things to be done right away. So this is giving you audience insight to those people, showing you where they're coming from, their demographics, interests, and then it's just giving you more of that information there. Setting it up, though, you're just setting up the account. You're setting up a property in the account, and the property is usually for your business and your core website. You're linking that URL there. Then you're going to take this piece of code, you're copying it, and then you're installing it onto your website in what's called a header code or whatever, right? Then you're configuring the account, making sure that all of the different data pools are able to share and that the settings are aligned and that you have permissions sharing from your business to your personal accounts and everything in between as well. This is more super high level stuff, but setting up the goals and the conversions, like setting up and looking at what things that you want to track that are the most important things to you, right? If it's page visits, then it's page visits. This is like the equivalent of the Facebook pixel or the metapixel, right? Has anybody ever heard of that term? Facebook pixel? That's the same thing. It's just tracking everything on your website so that we can see the data later. So you're installing one from Facebook, you're installing this one from Google Analytics, you're installing their tag, putting that straight on the website, and that's giving you more information. So Facebook's reporting to Facebook, making your ads better on Facebook. Google's reporting to Google, making your Google ads better. You know what I mean? And showing you everything that's happening in between. Then you're able to also link your Google Ads account and link your Google Merchant Center account, which is another just beautiful thing that you can do for your advertisements if you are e-commerce or a product business, which is set up your Google Merchant Center. So this one might be too in depth. If y'all want to take a picture of this one, cool. But I think it's very, very high level. And this is kind of just, for the people at home that want to try to set it up themselves. But I definitely suggest going to somebody, right? So cleaning up your website, using the data and conversion optimization, pretty much use the information that you have to make your stuff better, right? The things that you're changing, don't just change them without a reason, right? Try to have some insight or some data behind it. Ask somebody who's a professional, go and take some of these smaller, maybe little small courses to see, okay, does my website even look good? There are websites that can scan your website and make recommendations for you as to what you should maybe do with it. Yes. I got to grab the names after this one. I have a couple, I've used them before, but I haven't used them in so long because I can just look at the website and see what's wrong with it myself. But I'll find some after. Yeah, and they're just telling you, maybe move this headline up or down. And that's usually what it is. Make sure your headlines are clear. Make sure your buttons are clear. Make sure mobile is optimized. More than anything, if you should pretty much edit for mobile. It's the most important thing, right? 80% of your traffic is coming from mobile, and we're still worried about the computer website more for some reason. And then you go on mobile and it doesn't even work, right? So next is the Google Merchant Center. This is e-commerce. This is your products. You're setting up this account. You can set it up directly in the Google Merchant Center or usually in one of your website platforms. You can do it on like Wix or Shopify or whatever. They have like a direct integration to where you can just place all your products in there. But it just gives you increased visibility when you're doing Google shopping ads or when people are looking for your products. Now they can actually see them up top. You're searching for something and then you see a picture of a bunch of different products and it's like, oh, this one is this price, this one's this price, this one's this price, and it's a bunch of different brands. Before you start going into the words and searching different websites, that's how you get in that little area and put your products up there. So that is just beautiful. And that one, it rotates the same as anything else. So your stuff will move kind of up and down there. And if you're running Google ads, then it's just pushing your products up at the front periodically as well. And you can directly link it straight to your Google ads as well. So it's listing all your products. It's also showing people your promotions, right? So they can see, hey, this used to be $30. Cross that out as $15. All those type of promotions, you have the control to show people, which makes them feel like they're getting more value, especially if they're right on the search bar looking at your products. And then it gives you performance reporting on the ads, and just by having the account up and having their stuff placed, it'll show you how many times somebody at least saw your product or it was in front of somebody's TV screen, which is just TV screen, computer screen. But that's an important metric to me to know how many times did it even pop up for them. So step by step on this one, you're going into Google Merchant Center. You're going to create the account. You're verifying and claiming your website, which helps if you have the Google business profile set up. And then you're setting up the meta tag and uploading the HTML file, which it'll walk you through. It's going to show you step by step how to do most of that stuff. But after that, you're just setting up your shipping, whatever your rate is for shipping, your taxes, and whatever state that you're in. And then you're going to start uploading the products, right? So there's about 3 different ways that you can do it here on the right side. You can use the data feed, which is like bulk uploading, right? So I'm saying these are the names of the products. These are the descriptions of the products, like on a spreadsheet. These are image links, right? And if you're not familiar with image links, it's something else that you can do in app, right? So you can go in the app, you can upload all of your photos to the media gallery. And then if you right click those images, they will have a get link button. You can get those and collect them and put them all in that spreadsheet. So then those are all the pictures of your product. And that's a quick way to do the bulk upload. Or you're just using your native website. API is just meaning that you're using whatever website that you're coming from. So Shopify, Wix, WordPress, WooCommerce, right? Those will all have a native integration for it, or manual entry, my least favorite. So that's like product at a time. Yeah, put the name, put the product, put everything in there, try to, assign a SKU number and then publish. Now product number 2, do that same thing, so that's less favorable. But sometimes you don't have that many products. If you're just doing 10, then manual entry is perfectly fine. It's when you start to get into like all the different variations. Yeah, I have 50 different products and 3 variations a piece. Like, nah, definitely want to upload it a different way. And by then you should have a website that's so good that you probably have a native API integration already, and then you should go that route. Best practices for this: accurate product information, like as accurate as possible. Don't try to like embellish stuff. I don't know. Sometimes people try to embellish some of this stuff, right? Like if it's faux leather, say it's faux leather. Don't say genuine leather. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Just keep it, directly with the audience they're gonna buy or they're not. And most people aren't gonna see it, but you know, Google sees all. Let's say, right? So if somebody does a review on your Google business profile and they say this isn't real leather, it's faux leather, that could go back to your Google Business Merchant Center, Google Merchant Center, and kind of pull that item and make you re-edit it anyway. So they sometimes just pull your items and make you edit something that they saw that they feel like is inconsistent, right? They are trying to keep their stuff as pure as possible as well. You don't want to go Google searching, looking at some of the products, and then all of the products at the top were bad. You got it and they all broke instantly. Like Google, you're not giving me the right stuff. You know what I mean? I want the best of the best. So they're trying to ensure that quality as well. High quality images. No, go ahead. Probably in the long run. I don't really let people do it too much, so I haven't seen how that goes if you just keep doing it over and over. But I assume so, that there's some type of repercussion maybe on this thing here if we just keep messing it up over and over, especially when they're telling you what to do. Usually it's like, hey, this just seems wrong and you should change it like this, or maybe just take it off. Now, if you decide to not go with it, it's the same as like Facebook or Instagram. Remember they used to do copyright infringement? And then you were like, you could appeal it, but like you did have that song in the background of your video. So why would you appeal that? So then you can get your whole account struck, right?
I would add like one piece is like the integrity piece, right? Like, stick to your integrity and over embellishing might not be the most, reflective of maintaining integrity. And then the other piece is the FTC. Like the FTC has been cracking down more on businesses online for straight up lying or representing what their offer is. And so
Right.
obviously I hope all of us could be as big enough that the FTC takes a look at us. But going back to that integrity piece, if you build everything the right way in the first place, you won't have to worry about redoing things.
Yeah, and you want to under promise, over deliver, right? If you tell somebody that your product is not all that, but it's here, and they decide to buy it, and they're like, oh, it's better than I thought. That's a better feeling than I thought it was going to be this, and it was like here, they're going to crack down on you, then give you 1 star, and go online and go on a whole tirade against your business for no reason, So that's what I would rather do, is kind of just keep it as simple as possible and let the quality kind of speak for itself, but just have it, optimized and cleanly put on the platform so that it just spins at the top like any other product. And if you buy it, you buy it. But if you go to my website is going to be so clean that you will probably buy it or remember the website anyway. Like, oh, I remember this company. I had a small one. It was I think it was like myminimassage.com. It was like massage guns, right? There's a ton of people that look for the little massage percussion guns. I was selling them for a little while. sold a little store, but just having those spinning at the top, I was able to get sales because of how many people were just searching for those types of things, right? That was like a hack though, because I saw it was like 100,000 people are searching for massage guns a month. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do that. Let me do it. But utilize promotions, monitor the performance, keyword rich text. Get Gemini to write the keywords and the product descriptions of your stuff. Usually is the best bet. Google telling Google what it wants to do and what it wants to be read as, right? So that's always the best bet. Detailed descriptions and competitive pricing. Look at what the industry is doing and maybe humble yourself a little bit on it and see if I could fit in at a good cost. I worked with somebody before, they had products and they were like, man, I can't sell it for less than this, you know, and it's never going to really get bought if everybody in the industry is doing it at half the cost. And it was another person doing hair products, right? So if I have a conditioner and you're selling it at like $30 a bottle of conditioner, and then everybody else that it has the comparable product and the exact same type of vertical is doing $15 or $18, well, you have to have a big reason for me to want to do it. It has to be very unique. It has to have a better sale proposition. Oh, this is all vegan. This is all handcraft made, hand bottled glass bottles. Like, you know what I mean? You got to come up with something that makes it better. And if it's not there, then just sell it at a rate that makes sense, that you'll still profit. And you're going to have to find a better way to scale it, It might be that you don't want to sell it for cheaper because you're actually hand bottling it. And you're like, I don't want to make less on this if I'm hand bottling it. Well, then you need to hire somebody who can be cheaper to do that process as you scale it up, right? So those are the things that you need to bear, not the price. So. So this the Google Gemini rundown. Key features is just AI powered insights. The beauty of Gemini is it's using Google, so it can search through the engine and use a lot of these different insights. You're getting automatic campaign management. In essence, is giving you all the recommendations directly in Google Ads because it's linked to Gemini, but you can ask for information based on how you should set up these ads now with Gemini. So it's very good at helping you to create these types of things. And then using predictive analytics. So Google has information for years that is collected and has never dropped the ball on. You can now utilize those in order to say, hey, in your opinion, how do you think that I should market this for future outcome? And it can give you pretty close estimates just based on how humans are and based on, I don't think we're going to like grow a third arm anytime soon. So I think humans still going to be humans next year, and just giving you some good data to get as close as possible early on. The application, again, ad creation, customer journey mapping. So understanding how customers will move to you and find you and see you in the different ways that they can. You can talk to Google about that, and it can give you a nice, almost like a mind map of it to show you all the different pathways so you can make sure, oh, damn, I forgot about that. Maybe I should clean up my LinkedIn profile, right? Because a lot of my people are businesses that I need to talk to. And if my LinkedIn profile isn't set up all the way, I can fix that. Google is very good at kind of helping to give those. Gemini is. And then performance optimization. It's getting like even crazier, but exporting your data from like Google Analytics and then uploading it into Gemini in order to give you, more information based around specifically your stuff is something that's like the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. You know what I mean? So you get to utilize your stuff like that. And then some other benefits, just improve targeting, enhance creativity, just bouncing and having somebody else to bounce that off with. Efficiency, again, the built-in researching, and then the links to your Google products. So you can use Gemini inside of your Google suite. So your Google Drive, your Gmail, your Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, right? It can go into all of these things, and you can search across all of these things and find the information across your entire Google Drive. And it uses that in the search as well. So if you're a Google person like me, and I'm using Google Docs and all that kind of stuff, I don't really use Microsoft Office anymore. I use Google Office Suite. It uses all of that. You can pull up all that stuff directly inside of Gemini, which is double utility. Yeah.
So with you using both ChatGPT and Google Gemini, what would
Mhm.
you say would be their individual best? Like which one would one do better with each other?
I don't know. It's a preference thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like the same, but the answers that they give you are slightly different, right? Like if you were to type in the same thing, you would get vastly different answers as far as like how it even presented it to you, the way that the verbiage was structured. But they're both going to be very good. So it kind of pays to use both at times. Um, I use Gemini if I know, like, if I'm specifically searching for stuff, right? Like, I use it directly inside of my search. I have the new, like, whatever that's integrated, the labs kind of thing activated. So when I search, it pulls down a whole new thing. They use Google Gemini to give me the answer and then give me the references of where it found it. And then it goes into my searches now. So that's what I typically like to use it for. And then sometimes I'll just use it if I know that I want it to reference like documents online. That's what I'm using it for as well. Because I'm a big research person. So it's great to ask ChatGPT about these things, but I would rather say like, find me the definitive stuff, right? So you can ask Gemini to fact check your stuff and it'll go and have to find it in the internet and come and fact check it and give you the information, right? Because sometimes literally ChatGPT is just wrong completely. I've seen it literally tell you fibs, lies, you know what I'm saying? Make up a story about something just because it is trying to come up with the answer and there is no reference to it. Now that's not as common, right? Because it can look through Bing search and things like that and find those results. But it's the same thing. It's using Bing search. I'm not using Bing search, I'm using Google search. So I feel like Google has the best search capability. Then why would I use ChatGPT and that's going through Bing to search? Not to say that there's anything wrong with Bing. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Bing gods and Microsoft gods, but that's not my search engine that I prefer. So if it's stuff that it's going to have to search for information on extensively, because it's not just inherent information that's just out there and a bunch of articles on it, 100 articles, 1,000 articles, million articles on it, I'm probably going to use Gemini. But the other side of that, on ChatGPT side, I like the way that ChatGPT writes stuff and then outlays it a lot. So if I'm doing like big projects and I'm gonna like be generating it multiple times, I just love how ChatGPT does it, and I love the answers that it gives. Sometimes Gemini's answers, they'll be right, but then they come off cookie cutter to me. It's almost like, you know how Google is, they're trying to simplify it for you to understand it in a way, right? I'm like, I don't want it to be simple. I want it to be exciting. I want it to have exposition. I want it to, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I think ChatGPT is better. It gives me better, more unique outputs, I would say. So that's my little caveat with that. So here's some of the recaps, takeaways, some actions to take. The Google business profile, it just enhances your reach and your customer engagement. It gives you your profile for your business. Your Google ads, you're creating the targeted campaigns, forcing yourself to be number one on that search engine for exactly what people are looking for that you have. Google Analytics, you're tracking everything. You're able to analyze all your information, see what customers are doing, and not be confused as to why these things are happening. Google Merchant Center, allow your products to be listed on Google so people can see your product before they even get to your website. It's one less click in order for them to be able to buy and learn about the product and see it visually. Google Gemini, you're using AI to master your targeting, to master your performance, to master your insights, and it's using all of your Google platforms all in one. And it's another ChatGPT like AI that you can have a conversation with, and it's from Google, so Google's the man. I like it. Some actionable steps like set up and optimize your Google business profile. Start your first Google ad. Remember, I said when you first try to set it up, or the account is going to force you to make one. So maybe that first time, just do it right the first time, and then you don't have to go back and do it again. just use Gemini, have the tabs open, and fill it out. Right. And then implement your Google Analytics. Get somebody to set up the account for you and set it up on your website, because every day that you're not tracking that information is every day that Google is not going to have access to help you get better on your ads. And it's every day that you're not going to be able to see the people that are coming on your website. Obviously, whatever website platform you have has internal analytics, so you can see that, but it's not communicating those analytics directly with Google, which is essentially what you want to get better results, lower cost per click. All right, if I can get for $200, 1,000 people to sign up or excuse me, go to my website versus 500 for that same amount, but right, that's what you're able to do by setting up those simple things. Yes.
You answered it already.
You said setting up some simple
Yeah,
things.
you answered the question. So I was gonna ask you, like, where do you find those people that would do the SEO, as you were saying, on your website? But you just answered it, to find somebody and you can get the $200 and then get 1,000. You just answered it.
Yeah. And again, these are things that we do as well. We set these accounts up. Yeah. I'm very bad at self promo. I don't like to
I know
doing.
but we do all these things, our agency does all these things, sets up all these types of accounts. At the end of the day, just having them set up, it just brings your business that much higher, right? On the flip side of the coin, people buy and sell businesses. Sometimes it's like, man, I did it up and I built it up, right? If you have 10 years of data that you can say that you have collected on Google, you're going to be able to sell it for much, much higher when it's time to, or if it's time to pass the business down to your family, for example. It's going to be worth so much more from having that data, from having those years of data. So just start today and try to, get it set up. Go to somebody to set up some of these accounts or come to us to get it set up for you. So at this time, we're going to open Q&A if you have any more questions or if there's any online.
There's a Google, let me see, Office. Is that
So
free?
that's just it's not technically called Google Office, but I would say what is it
Workplace.
called? Google Workplace or Workspace.
Mhm.
Yes, Google Workspace.
Okay.
That's where a lot of those suites are kind of managed. But each of those individual tools, just by having a Google account, you can just use it. So what you'll be looking at is Google Docs.
Google.
For the documents, that's the same as like Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is, the same as Excel. Google Slides, the same as PowerPoint. So those are kind of the main tools, and then Gmail, obviously, is your email.
I think you gotta pay for Workspace.
Yeah, you have to pay for Workspace, but that's why I say if you go to the individual tools, those are all free. So like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, all those are all free. Gmail is all free just by having a Gmail account, right? I say just work with that for a while, if you can, before hopping into the Workspace. There's like nuanced reasons to have Workspace, right? Being able to have those professional emails, and then sending your emails. There's a lot of things that you do on the back end that's very technical that will help your emails to send better. That is in Google Workspace. And then, better sharing tools by having Google Workspace, higher limits to your storage on Google Workspace, right? So you can put terabytes of stuff and have multiple people in your team utilize it to have all of your stuff organized. So this stuff is not bad, and it's not too expensive. You can get Google Workspace like $10 a month or something like that. Granted, it's more expensive per seat that you have, but you usually just need one if it's just you. And you can have other people in the business just, use the same one. Or you can use the same app that we always use and create emails in the system and just assign those ones so you're not running up the rate of your Google Workspace. Questions?
You go to the Google Docs is the same as what?
As a Microsoft Word to write the docs, and then Google Sheets is the same as Excel. And then Google Slides is the same as PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
So I just wanted to hear from your perspective. You had said that it can be hard for you to self-promote sometimes.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I kind of feel the same way because when it comes to promoting other people, like I'm cold with, like I go to my story, post, whatever. But with me, I don't know if it's just because if I post to someone else, it doesn't really affect me, so I can just easily post it. So it's not really any emotion or conscientiousness there. But my question is just like, you personally, why do you feel you have such a hard time self-promoting?
I feel as though sales and marketing are very two different things, and I'm a very, very cold salesman. I'm very good at sales. Like I've done that for a long time. I feel as though as soon as I start to promote, then I'm gonna start to get into that sales bag, and it's not necessarily showing people me as a marketer, right? The marketing is the idea of branding yourself in a way that's captivating to the people and just bringing them to you, right? And then, we can hit them with the sales mechanism. But my goal with this is to bring the people to me, right? So if I'm automatically selling, then like I would just put a bunch of stuff, like I'll put all the metrics of everything that we've done. Google ads, you can try it yourself, or you can see these results that we did right here. You know what I mean? I could do that all day, but I feel like it's too salesy. And then it's going to have people thinking of me as a salesman versus a digital marketer, which a lot of times those are like super murky and they just kind of blend too much. So yeah.
So just for clarity, just for my mind, so like the content will be like the salesy stuff, that'll be the sale, and then putting it out there will be the marketing? Or
I would say it's all about the presentation of it, right? So there's a way, it's like attraction marketing versus like going directly and doing the DM. Like for example, when we were talking about the Instagram and the Facebook workshop stuff, me doing the marketing is creating the content and bringing people to me, right? It's, commenting on the people's stuff. Now the sales is now when I'm DMing the person directly and having that conversation and starting it, So I feel like when I'm here directly with somebody, it's like I'm just trying to educate and I'm just trying to, maybe market the services, but through education to just show that we know what we're talking about, right? Versus me saying like, yo, these are the things that you should do. And then like, hire us and we'll do it for this, and hire us, we'll do it for this, hire us, we'll do it for this. Oh, everybody here, we'll give it to you 25% off as well because you were here, but you got to set it up by the end of the day. And then you also got to like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we can set that up as well. But I just feel like it just detracts from what we're trying to do here, which is give like this free education and then the support to that, right? So that's it. And I mean, everybody knows I do this all the time. Like marketing is like whatever. Obviously I could do it. I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So if I go out of my way to just like it just feels crazy to me. Like it feels crazy to me. Because I got really good at sales. I moved to Florida for a while. This is off. We're kind of done. But I was doing sales in Florida and I got just really, really good to it to the point to where I'm reading people's body language. I'm predicting things that they're probably going to say. I'm using things that it just felt like I'm cheating now. It just feels like I'm cheating now. I'm thinking of all the different ways that you could build rapport with somebody. I'm talking about their family. I'm talking about their job. Yeah. It was, so I wanted to learn sales because I felt like I was lacking that in my businesses. So I went the hard route, did door to door. Then I did B2B. And I did some high ticket sales, like items over 1,000, over 2,500. And then after I kind of felt like I got all that stuff down, I was like, all right, well, back to the businesses, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else for me.
That really works when you're working in that type of field. It really helps build up a skill set like that. I'm not a salesy person.
And once you learn it on a psychological level, you get take that emotion out of it. It's all about how many times you're able to be told no before you're being told yes. And are you able to say the right things the majority of the time? Are you able to know what people are probably going to say back negatively about your thing and able to kind of beat that up a little bit? It's not even about doing it too many times. Like somebody tells you something, like they say no to you, I take that as they need to know more information, right? And I'm telling them 3 different times, man, if after the 3rd kind of time I'm being introducing it from another point of view, because people also learn different ways, right? If all the different ways I try to show it to you didn't really connect with you, then what I'm doing trying to sell, I'm gonna just move to somebody else because now I'm really fighting uphill. Yes.
Did the company help you more, or was it really your own trial?
The company helped me because of the system, right? Use this script, use this script, use this script. Now we understand the different sections of the script, and then now we're just practicing it over and over. I think my resilience wouldn't be as high, right? Like door to door specifically is like very difficult. You know what I mean? Going to somebody's house and you're selling them something that they weren't thinking about, weren't worried about. You just got me off the couch, my dog's barking out, all of that. And it got to the point to where like, man, I would literally just nap in the car. And then like, I'll just wake up and then I'll just look around and I'll be like, this house, because it looks like there's a car here. And then I would just stand there and I'll talk to the person until I sold them. And there was nothing about like, I didn't think I couldn't do it. I wasn't nervous about doing it. They could yell at me, scream, whatever. I just thought concrete feet, I'm gonna just keep my feet here. And as long as you don't shut the door, I have a chance. So as long as you don't point a gun at me, I have a chance. You know what I mean? And there was even some kind of, you know, with the gun stuff, some murky stuff in there too. I sold people that kind of was like, oh man, I had the gun behind the door the whole time, man. You sold me on it. Hey, come in. You know, stuff like that. So yeah. I'm a crazy person. I have some crazy stories, crazy stuff like that. But it was just like, yeah, now I don't feel like it's a challenge. But I don't want to utilize that on people all the time either, because I feel like you're selling some people, and if I present it to you a few times and you don't like it, then cool. If I force you to get it after that, I don't think that's as cool. Even though I know what I'm selling already has a benefit, I wouldn't even sell anything that wouldn't be beneficial. So that's step one. But I just feel as though you probably would have allocated your money differently had I not used your body language against you, had I not used your family against you, your dogs against you, you're a sports fan, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. You can pick those kinds of things apart really easily. To the point, I have people that leaning on the door. Now I'm leaning on the wall. Now we're talking like this. You know, we're just using body mirroring in order to, you know, just get the conversation grasped, right? Their dog runs around the corner. We do so many of the different houses. You just learn the dog breed so that way you can just have a conversation, because most people don't know dog breeds at all. So if you're just like, oh my gosh, is that a corgi? They're like, oh my God, yes, it is a corgi. Oh my gosh, man, I love the leg, look, little short legs. And then now you're in there, you know what I mean? And all the little breeds in between, if you can guess like cross breeds even, they're just like, damn, you knew that was a Labradoodle? Like, you know. So, but yes, any other questions? I know I'm way off topic of this stuff, but.
Thank you, Breeze.
Thank you.